Visit them online at techtimeradio.com.
Broadcasting across the nation from the East Coast to the West, keeping you up to date on technology while enjoying a little whiskey on the side, with leading-edge topics, along with special guests, to navigate technology in a segmented, stylized radio program. The information that will make you go, Pull up a seat, raise a glass with our hosts as we spend the next hour talking about technology for the common person. Welcome to TechTime Radio with Nathan Mumm.
Welcome to Tech Time with Nathan Mumm, the show that makes you go, technology news of the week, the show for the everyday person, talking about technology, broadcasting across the nation with insightful segments on subjects. Weeks ahead of the mainstream media, we welcome our radio audience of 35 million listeners to an hour of insightful technology news. I'm Nathan Mumm, your host and a technologist with over 30 years of technology expertise. Our co-host here, Mike Roday, is in studio and is the award-winning author and a human behavior expert. Now, we're live streaming during our show on 5 of the most popular platforms, including YouTube, Twitch.tv, X, Facebook, and LinkedIn. We encourage you to visit us online at techtimeradio.com and become a Patreon supporter at patreon.com/techtimeradio. We are all friends from different backgrounds, but we bring the best technology show possible weekly for our family, friends, and fans to enjoy. We're glad to have Odie, our producer, behind the control panel today. Welcome, everyone. Let's start today's show.
Now on today's show.
All right, today on Tech Time with Nathan Mumm, buckle up as we dive into the latest tech news and stories to keep you on the edge of your seat. We start by looking back at NASA's astronaut Alan Shepard and his Mercury Redstone 3 spacecraft, affectionately known as Freedom 7, in This Week in Technology. Then we have an active website tab, a story that's going to make you go, Now, how many active tabs do you have on your machine right now, Mr. Gourday? Do you have anywhere between 50 to 100 active tabs, or are you underneath that 50?
I would say I have about 20 to 30 tabs.
20 to 30 tabs. Okay, what if I told you that there was someone that had 7,500 tabs and counting?
I would like to know what processor that person's running.
Okay, we're going to talk a little bit more about that, and what browser, of course, can handle this load. Well, guess what? It's not Edge. And it's not Chrome, so
I know what it is.
That's right. We're going to be talking about that. And have you ever wondered what would happen if you accidentally invited 487 guests to your child's birthday party?
You know, I have a story where my sister was supposed to have a party at our house when I was young.
Yeah.
And invites got sent like over 80 miles away, and like over 600 people showed up to my parents' house.
Oh, really? So,
yeah.
so you kind of maybe had this back in the physical time versus the digital time.
That's right.
Okay, well, we're going to be talking about that.
So I kind of know what happens. It's a mess. They broke down fence and started bonfires in my dad's yard. It was crazy.
Oh, that sounds like a good college day. All right, and then in other news, we have a notorious hacker, one of Europe's most wanted, who has been apprehended, and we'll explain why. Now, let's talk about some unconventionally hacking methods that were used. What if this individual stole patients' records in a hack? What happens then? We're going to find out. I think you actually have that story to talk about that. So that's going to be very interesting. And then get ready.
It's the same story.
Yeah, it's the same story.
Okay.
All right. Then get ready for a rap battle like no other. Hip hop history is being rewritten as artificial intelligence steps into the rap arena. Now, I'm not talking about that. You're not talking about that. We had to find someone that actually understands rap. So Odie's got that story that we'll be talking about.
I don't know why. Why are you saying I don't understand rap?
Yeah,
are you a rap guy? Are you a rap guy?
I have listened to rap.
You have listened to rap? Okay.
Oh,
what's your latest?
Two Live Crew.
Rap?
What,
Two Live Crew.
Okay.
Easy E.
Easy E.
Yeah, man.
Yeah, back in the 80s. Too.
Back in the 80s. That's right.
All right. And then we have a juicy segment on Jack Dorsey as he exits now. Not one, not two, but now his third startup with Bluesky. Plus, we're bringing back our fan favorite letters, so stay tuned this week. And this month is going to be a blast. Next week, we have Gwenway, followed up by James Riddle and Nick Espinoza. So this week and this month is already packed with our guests. So everybody should have a great, exciting time. Now, of course, each episode includes all these great features, plus Mike's mesmerizing moment, our technology fail of the week, and a possible Nathan Nugget, and of course,
Nathan Nugget.
A Nathan Nugget. And of course, our pick of the day whiskey tasting, as we have our selected whiskey pick of the day. Get 0, 1, or 2 thumbs up by the end of the show. And Mark is in studio today, so I can't wait to find out what the special day is and all about our whiskey. Now, though, it's time for the latest headlines in the world of technology.
Here are our top technology stories of the week.
All right. Bluesky confirms Jack Dorsey is no longer on its board. Let's go to Corinne Westland for more on this story.
Bluesky confirms Jack Dorsey is no longer on its board. Neither Bluesky nor Dorsey himself seem to have said how or why he left the board. For now, 2 board members remain: CEO Jay Graber and Jabber inventor Jeremy Miller. Dorsey originally backed Bluesky in 2019 as a project to develop an open-source social media standard that he wanted Twitter to move to. He later joined its board of directors when it split from Twitter in 2022. The posts come a day after an ex-user asked Dorsey if he was still on the company's board, and Dorsey responded without further elaboration, no. But Dorsey hadn't seemingly been a particularly active participant at the company. In March, Graber said his level of involvement with Bluesky is that she gets some feedback occasionally. Back to you guys in the studio.
All right. You got to love that. Some feedback, right? So it sounds like
he really was just a face on a plate.
Kind of MIA, right? That happens with some of these founders. So after they've found one big startup company, they come on a board. They help normally bring in a lot of influential people, some financial people, and then they kind of go sitting on the beach and enjoying life as it is. Well, Dorsey was on a tear yesterday, though. He unfollowed all but 3 accounts on X while referring to Elon Musk's platform as Freedom Technology. Now, the Twitter founder, Jack Dorsey, is no longer on the board of Bluesky, the decentralized social media platform he helped start. In 2 posts today, Bluesky thanked Dorsey while confirming his departure and adding that it's searching for a new board member who shares our commitment to building a social network that puts people in control of their experience.
What does that mean?
Okay, so a little bit. So Dorsey is all about having anybody post whatever they want. That's what he's. Jack Dorsey is absolutely known. He doesn't care about politics, about religion, about sex, any of those type of items. If you want to post about it, you can post about it on a platform. He kind of has that open freedom type of look. You should be able to post anything you want on any bulletin board.
Isn't that what is going on with X?
Well, so that's why he removed everybody except for a couple of accounts on X. So now he's starting to say that Elon Musk's platform is the only true freedom social media network.
Social? What about that?
Well, I don't know. I don't even know if that's going to make it till the end of this year. There's a guy that runs that. That's kind of in trial each and every day. If you haven't heard about that, but yes. Now, Bluesky did not immediately respond for comment. Bluesky is probably dead. This social media platform has not been used by many people. Post.news is kind of taken over as the competitor. Mastodon that we've talked about previously kind of is becoming a niche market. But essentially what people are doing is if they don't want to post information on here, Reddit is just blowing up. So people are going to Reddit.
I kind of feel like social media is just saturated to the point where nobody cares.
Well, the United States government cares, especially if your social media is coming from China.
Well,
with TikTok,
yeah,
right?
China, TikTok's suing the government, the U.S. government. So you know,
so they got a bunch of different stuff. But you know what, Bluesky, if you wanted to jump on that board, you could probably jump on the board and be a board member yourself, Mr. Gourdet. I think they're probably taking any applications, so you probably have to have a couple $1 million and be okay with whatever they want you to do.
I wouldn't just have to go and say, "Hey, can I be on the board?" and they pay me money.
I don't think you have that.
They don't do that.
Not like what Jack does. No.
Well, what if I change my name to John Dorsey?
John Dorsey?
Sure.
Okay. That's a great idea. You know,
okay,
John and Jack are kind of the same.
Jack and John.
All right, here we go. Story number 2.
Well, a notorious hacker who is one of Europe's most wanted criminals has been jailed for blackmailing 33,000 therapy patients with their stolen notes.
Uh-oh.
Julius Kivamaki was imprisoned, bringing an end to an 11-year cybercrime spree that started when he rose to prominence in a network of anarchic teenage hacking gangs at the age of just 13.
Okay. You get tongue-tied?
I don't understand how this is written out, but what happened is
Well, essentially,
one of these persons,
Yep.
this is in Finland,
Yep.
was named Tina. She was enjoying a Finnish Saturday night in her sauna when her phone pinged, and it was an email from an anonymous sender who somehow had her name, social security number, and other private details.
Okay.
She recalled that it was very polite and that it was a very nice tone, but the sender wrote that almost apologetically that they had obtained all of her records from a psychotherapy center, and they were ignoring the fact that they had hacked that data, and they were asking her or demanding for her to pay a ransom to make sure that information didn't go online.
Okay.
He explained that they had 2 years of thorough records taken by her therapist during dozens of intimate sessions, and that she had 24 hours to comply or it would be published. She realized she was not alone. A total of 33,000 other therapy patients also had their records stolen, and thousands were being blackmailed in what is the largest number of victims in a criminal case in Finland. Now, remember that number because it's going to be kind of interesting.
Okay.
The stolen database was from Vastamo, a psychotherapy-based records thing. The impact of the emails was immediate and devastating. Lawyer Jenny Raskio represents 2,600 of the victims, and at the trial said her firm had been contacted by people whose relatives had been who had taken their own lives after the patient records were published online. The blackmailer, who was known only as Ransom Man, demanded that the victims pay him 200 euros within 24 hours, otherwise he would publish their information, and if they did not meet that deadline, he increased it to 500. About 20 people paid before the victims realized it was already too late. Their information was already published the day before when Ransom Man accidentally leaked the entire database to a forum on the darknet, which is still there today.
Okay.
It took Finnish police nearly 2 years to gather the evidence and issue an Interpol red notice for him, and he became one of Europe's most wanted criminals, but nobody knew who he was or where the 25-year-old was. As often happens with criminal cases, he was tracked down by mistake last February when police in Paris went to his apartment after getting a false domestic disturbance call. They found Kivimaki had been living there with forged identity documents and under a fake name. He was swiftly extradited to Finland, where police began preparing for one of the most high-profile trials in the country's history. According to the court, Kivimaki was guilty of more than 30,000 crimes. He was charged one for each victim. He was charged with aggravated data breach, attempted aggravated blackmail, 9,231 aggravated dissemination of information infringing on private lives, 20,745 attempted aggravated blackmail, and 20 aggravated blackmail. Those are all the charges that he got.
So they threw the book at him.
They threw the book at him. He was sentenced to 6 years and 3 months in jail.
Okay.
Out of a maximum of 7.
Okay, so that's pretty. 6 years and 3 months. That's pretty good out of the 7 years. So it sounds like they threw the book at him and they pretty much got everything they could.
Okay, so you have no comment on the amount of time that he spent in jail for all of those charges.
Well, is that I don't live in Finland, so I don't know Finland law or anything to that extent. So clearly, they probably don't have really good persecution methods for this type of technology.
I say that because
if this happened in the United States, it would be completely different.
It may not.
No, it would have been 30 years.
We have some.
No, I actually looked it up.
Did you look it up? It would be at least 30 years.
It was 30 years.
But we have a problem with this.
Okay.
We over prosecute. Finland may under prosecute. Okay. And this is the victims agree that this wasn't enough time.
Okay.
They hope that the state might be able to step in, but says it could take many more months, if not years, to go through each individual case to assess how much harm was caused. There are even calls to change the law to help deal with future mass hack cases like this.
Okay.
So this was a historical case in Finland because their system is not ready for that amount of victims. The Vastamo hack has showed us that we have to be prepared for these large cases. So I hope there's a change. This isn't going to end here. So
Okay.
There we go.
So that's pretty important, though, the patient records, right? So, I mean, when you start blackmailing, there's got to be stuff in there. I mean, you had people that talked about criminal activities. You had people talk about
just
fidelity issues.
I know you're not big on the whole therapy thing.
Well, no,
but if you went to a therapist
okay.
and somebody got a hold of what you were talking about, which is supposed to be sacrosanct, it's almost just as privately held as talking to a priest.
Okay. Yeah.
Right.
Yeah.
And these people came at you and said, "Hey, we know all about this stuff you told your therapist." How would you feel about that? Now,
so I have
taken into account that we are talking about you.
Okay, so I would probably. I don't know if I'd have any really awesome skeletons.
Go ahead.
I don't know if I'd probably be really. You hear about probably me being sad when I bought my basketball team and lost millions of dollars and a couple other types of stuff. I don't think any of that really.
You just had to throw that in there, huh?
Well, I mean, I'm trying to think.
We're talking about people who are, abused as a child.
Okay, so I didn't experience that. So I think my life experiences probably would not be as interesting as somebody else's.
Okay, well,
besides, you already know almost everything about my life. It's not.
You have some very interesting stories.
I do.
Maybe I should publish them on the dark web.
Hey,
will you give me $20?
No, I'm not going to
publish.
I'm not going to give you any of that. All right, let's move to our next story. Story number 3. Or did you have a question?
Well, I was going to say, I'm surprised you didn't bring up the fact that you lived in Africa for a little bit.
I did live in Africa for a little bit. Wow, that's Odie.
She just cut you.
I know. She just loves it when I do that. So let me tell you about.
Well, you do it a lot.
I do.
Well, you just brought up the basketball thing. I figured.
Well, that's so. Those are the. I got like 3.
We all know about your life because you're always telling us all the stuff that you do in your life.
All right, there you go.
Right, Nathanland.
It's the happiest place on earth. All right, the Kendra Drake feud is
the happiest place in Nathanland.
That's right. Is also almost the first mainstream rap battle to use AI, as Kendrick Drake's feud shows how technology is changing rap battles. All right, Odie, tell us a little bit about this story, will you?
Okay, Kendrick and Drake are currently in a feud that's been going on for the past couple months, right?
Okay.
First it started with J. Cole throwing in with Kendrick, Drake, and J. Cole as the best rappers. Drake responded to that track, and basically made a diss track with AI of Tupac, without asking the permission from the estate at all.
Oh,
so
Tupac's not alive. So
no, Tupac is dead.
Yes.
So he made that diss track. He also used Snoop Dogg, and the estate came after him, obviously.
Okay.
But it basically started this whole thing of like, what is okay with AI? Because for somebody as Drake, already a big artist who has been a victim of AI music
in the past, right? He's complained about that.
Why would he do that as well, right?
Was it like a joke?
I have an idea, but
what do you mean?
You don't want me to say it.
What's that?
I'm not going to say it.
Okay. All right. Okay. We'll wait for that maybe during Mike's mesmerizing moment. Okay. So tell us a little bit more, Odie.
So the battle has become so big that it's not only across, AI, but all forms of technology. A bunch of people who are defenders of Kendrick have come across on Google Maps and vandalized Drake's mansion online. Or recently right now, it's Drake is dropping a diss track, and then within a couple days, if not minutes, or hours, Kendrick will release another one. So now listeners are starting streams online on YouTube, basically waiting and dissecting all the diss tracks that are coming out as well.
As an artist, doesn't that take a lot of work to do a diss track? I mean,
okay.
If they're using AI.
Well, maybe not. That's true.
Here's the thing. Drake can use AI because, not to bash on him, but he's not that great of a lyricist. He's not that great of an artist.
Okay.
AI can't be replicated with Kendrick.
Okay.
Kendrick has soul, has experience.
I feel like I know what camp you're in.
Okay.
Well, Kendrick won the feud. He's been winning the feud.
He's been winning the feud.
He's been mopping the floor with Drake.
And it's not that it's an AI.
Listen to her, man. She's really dogging this out.
Well, this goes back to my core thing about AI. If you use AI to help yourself, that's great.
Well, okay, hold on. Yes, I am Team Kendrick, but are we studying? Are there college classes about Drake's music on One Dance and all that?
I don't know.
Is
I
he
think
a
it's
Pulitzer
I think it's
Prize winning
ridiculous if he
artist?
is.
No, Kendrick is.
Okay.
And why is that? Because of his experience, because of his lyrics, because of
His
all of
rhythm, his probably the way he.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Drake can't replicate that. Neither can AI. We're not at that, anyone can put Drake's sound on a song and
Yeah, but it's not the soul. It's not the same.
him.
It's the same thing. Like there people are saying, AI may make the jazz musicians go out of style. I listen to great jazz when I'm in a club, if I go to a jazz club, and that is so good because there's the soul, the person's really into the music. You can't replicate that.
No.
There's a whole feeling process
But
that AI
Drake
can't replicate.
using Tupac without any permission and then doing that when he's against AI himself.
So that's like AI 101.
Okay, he's not against AI.
Okay. But
he's just whining because it was used without his permission. And so, but he's
so why are you going to use Snoop Dogg? Snoop Dogg is still alive.
It's the same thing. It's the same. It's egocentrism, right?
Right.
You can't do that to me, but I can do that to you.
Well, Tupac is dead. He can't respond.
That is true.
No, but he has an estate that can respond.
Yes.
Yes.
And they did.
And they should.
Yeah.
They probably said that they weren't happy.
These are all the controls that need to be expanded around the use of AI.
Which is, so it's concerning because there's artists like Billie Eilish and others who have come forward saying, AI is great, but where does the limit exist? Which is something
I
that
think the
Mike Liss
consumer
talked
will
about.
always speak on this. This is what I always say. The consumer will speak. If the consumer likes the AI,
that's an issue.
That's a problem too.
Because the consumer, in my field of social media, AI music, when it first really came out, like earlier last year, a lot of the songs and artists that I was listening to became popular because they were using AI.
Okay.
For Bad Bunny, for Drake, for I can't remember another artist, to the point where Drake even tried to make the song on his own and people didn't like it. They preferred the AI version of the song.
That's really good.
And it's really
you're in concert and you're getting booed on live stage. You're like, can you go back to your computer and come back out in 20 minutes?
Yeah. So that's an issue.
Okay. All right. There you go. That was a good heated argument.
Oh yeah.
So you're clearly you're Team Drake.
No.
I know. Okay. All right. Let's go to story number 4. A Firefox power user has kept 7,500 tabs open for 2 years. Oh boy. Let's go to David Larson with more on the story.
For most of us, having more than a couple dozen browser tabs open at once feels like a cluttered nightmare. But for one software engineer, managing nearly 7,500 active Firefox tabs is just another day at the office. Hazel, who prefers not to share her last name, is what you'd call a hardcore Firefox fan and self-proclaimed tab hoarder. She recently posted a screenshot showing a mind-boggling 7,470 tabs open simultaneously in the Mozilla browser. It turns out that Firefox had some trouble restoring the gargantuan tab load initially, but Hazel was able to revive the vast digital collection via the browser's profile cache functionality. However, as Nathan will note, this is not a recommended usage of tabs or browser windows, which should be closed on a daily basis to free up your memory usage on your computer.
All right, that is true.
Say Mozilla.
Was that Mozilla?
Okay.
All right. Mozilla browser. I use it as my secondary browser. I use Edge as my primary, and then I use Chrome as my third browser. I've moved over to Edge as kind of my browser because it has AI built into it. And
that's right. Yep. So we all know about your bromance with AI.
Yeah.
And how you took the worst browser ever and made it into your main one.
No, it's okay. All right. So Mozilla's statement is that their browser.
What Mozilla? What
Mozilla?
Mozilla.
Mozilla. Did I say Mozilla again?
Yeah. You're always saying Mozilla.
Mozilla statement says their browsers have the ability to handle extreme tab hoarders.
Isn't that what Firefox's claim to fame is?
That is kind of is because they use the least amount of memory, and what they do is they actually have a function built into their core OS where essentially it uses practically no memory whatsoever when the browser is not in the active window itself. Now, the active window list, that's not means your current browser, but
That means
sometimes
what
you have a
open.
browser window open and you may have a bunch of tabs, and then you probably have another browser window open with a bunch of tabs, and another browser window. It's whatever that active window is essentially running. So essentially, this person has been running over 7,000 active tabs for 2 years. Now, I don't quite get this. I mean, is it literally? It's easier for me to launch an internet page and go to whatever the current login is than to actually scroll through each of those pages to find what you have for your information.
You know, saying you're a digital hoarder is not far off the mark.
Okay.
You know, there's some psychology about this kind of stuff.
Okay.
You know, it's a comfort and that's why we do it.
Okay.
Because we build the tabs that we're looking at.
Yeah.
And we're like, oh, I might reference this later, so I'm going to leave it open. And then you just get used to it there and you forget about it. And then every once in a while you scroll through. Oh, yeah.
So you understand that every application you launch on your machine takes up physical memory in your machine itself.
Yeah, I know that.
And the more and more you load that, the slower and slower your machine goes, because it has to process all those active tasks through the processor.
You're talking to a human.
Well, okay. So
what did I say about humans earlier that I can't repeat on the radio?
You can't say that. All right. So essentially, please reboot your machines. I mean, if you can't do it once a month, then at least do it once a week. And if you can't do it once a week, then you should be doing it daily. That is really what you should be doing as a good practice. You should not leave your machine open, and you should not have that many active tabs. The biggest hoarder I've ever met with active tabs will be giving us a little bit of their whiskey type of deal a little bit later.
Mark,
today.
do you keep 7,500 tabs open on your computer?
I bet you Mark has over 100 tabs open on his computer. I would bet you that right now. I don't know, but that is my guess. I've seen his desktop before. He kind of likes the
Odie, how many open tabs do you have?
I keep less than like 10.
Well, my wife is
Okay.
my wife just has it.
I have about 20 to 30 open.
It bothers
at any
me
given
so
time.
much to see more than 10. Every time we're in our production meeting, I hate looking at Nathan's screen.
I know he has like 50 tabs open on his screen too.
Yeah. Okay.
And then you open another page and you just enlist a bunch of more.
Well,
tabs on
you're
it.
just really
No, I do have.
See, that's what happens when you get your medical records posted on the dark web. This is what happens. Odie comes and reads.
She says I can read from it. There you go. All right. Well, please use good computer hygiene. Close your tabs when you're not needing them to be open. Now that ends our
physical hygiene is also recommended too.
Okay, there you go. That ends our top
Maybe
technology
that
stories.
first.
There you go. We are now going to move on to our next segment, letters, that will be up in a few minutes. Buckle up, tech enthusiasts, as we're going to drive 88 miles per hour into the next segment. See you after this commercial break.
Using that too much.
This is Mark
And Greg,
for Copiers Northwest
with a terrific offer.
called Printer Care Plus.
It's simple. Buy HP printer cartridges from Copiers Northwest and we'll service your current printers for free.
That sounds too good to be true.
It's made possible due to our HP Copiers Northwest relationship.
Copiers Northwest is an HP Platinum partner.
One of only 2 in the entire Northwest.
And now with Printer Care Plus,
Copiers Northwest will provide free printer service.
as long as they purchase genuine HP cartridges from Copiers Northwest.
That's right. IT departments no longer have to service printers.
Or fix paper jams with Printer Care Plus.
They can focus on more strategic initiatives.
And let our experienced technicians keep their HP printers up and running.
Sounds like a love-love relationship for IT departments.
Don't get too carried away. So how do they get more details on Printer Care Plus?
Call Copiers Northwest today, 206-282-1200, or visit copiersnw.com.
Copiers Northwest. New ideas, new solutions.
Back to Tech Time with Nathan Mumm. Our weekly show covers the top technology subjects without any political agenda. Verify the facts, and we do it with sense of humor in less than 60 minutes. And of course, with a little whiskey on our side. Today, Mark Gregoire, whiskey connoisseur and tab master, is back in the studio. So, Mark, what have you chosen for today?
Today we have Wilderness Trail, single barrel, family reserve, cast strength rye. And if you remember, 2 weeks ago we did very similar, but we did the wheat bourbon. And this week we are doing their rye. Now, from Wilderness Trail's website, Wilderness Trail offers single barrel picks for retailers, bars, and other groups. where they can select entire barrels, offer them for sale. This bottling is bottled at cask strength and made with Wilderness Trail's rye mash bill recipe, which is a classic Kentucky style, being a low rye.
Low rye.
Remember that term?
Okay, low rye.
So it's a rye, so it has at least 51% rye, but it doesn't have too much more than that.
I feel like there's a song attached to that.
Are you going to do a rap song here? Okay. All
Now
right.
this brings with it flavors of lemon, spices, custard, and comes with orange oil with vanilla.
Ooh.
Now this company is owned by the Campari Group, but it's brewed in Wilderness Trails Distillery in Danville, Kentucky. As we mentioned, it's a straight rye, 4 years, 6 months, 104.5 proof.
Ooh.
It is, as we mentioned, it's a low rye. So this particular mash bill is 56% rye, 33% corn, and 11 malted barley, and it goes for about $70.
This is good stuff. I'm liking this.
But
a
it's too
lot.
expensive, right?
No. I don't know. Look how big this.
I got it for
look at this.
$70. No, that was after taxes. So technically, it goes for a little bit less.
No, I like this.
So
I actually
probably like $55, $60.
Okay.
That's
that
my
sounds
price
like that sounds like something you'd buy.
Yeah, that's on my price range. That's and this is wow. This is smooth, and I kind of like the aftertaste. It's just
Is it smooth.
it's smooth. It's smooth and dry. I don't know if those are the right
Ever-
things. But
ever-
all
ever
the
since
experts,
Mark-
all the
ever since-
experts are
ever
like
since
saying
Mark told us about that.
I
I
know.
laugh every time you say that.
it's smooth. All right.
All right. Don't forget to like and subscribe. In addition, please put a comment in there if you're watching on YouTube and let us know what kind of whiskey you'd like us to review.
All right.
Remember, we're not really whiskey connoisseur. Well, Mark is, but
is
we
absolutely.
aren't. We just like the taste.
Oh yeah, put a bad one in there. I'd enjoy that for you guys.
Yeah, pick a bad one. All right. Thank you so much, Mark, for that. Now, with our first whiskey tasting completed, let's move on to our feature segment today. We bring out the funny yet informative reading of emails that I received during this week. This includes scam, phishing emails, and all-out mistruths disguised as legitimate emails in a segment we like to call Letters.
Letters, we get letters. We get back of letters. Ah, letters, we get letters. And the letters all have
All right. Each of us have one article. I'm going to start off. Here, I got an email I sent to Nathan Mumm at hotmail.com. Oh, that's great. Now everybody knows my email. Nathan Mumm at hotmail.com. It says from Ralph, but the email address is percy87ui.icloudinfo.com. Dear, this is how I know this person cares about me. They cut and paste essentially my username from the email. Dear Nathan Mumm, all one word. I'm a private money lender offering loans for various commercial projects at interest rates of 5%. Please reach out to me if you're interested.
Wow.
Best regards, Ralph. Now, Percy sent me the email.
Ralph wants to give you money.
But Ralph is here to help me out with a low interest rate of 5%. Guido will help drop off the duffel bag with money. And if I don't pay it back, my kneecap will be capped. There you go. So I do not know who this individual is. I would never sign up to get money from an individual that's not a bank. So
okay,
please know the common aspects.
What made you think that might be a bad email?
Well, first of all, if you don't know my name and you're going to put in my email address as my name, and then you're going to kind of have a sentence where I need to reach back to you to get an interest rate. Probably, you know what? It didn't get flagged. The subject is reply. Essentially, it doesn't even come up with a new thing. So clearly he cut and pasted this from somebody else. And it was sent when I'm normally up in the morning at 1:34 a.m. So he knew that I was just worrying about money at that time. So he decided to send it to me.
Yeah, I often do a lot of bank transacting at 1:34 a.m.
in the morning too. All right.
Yeah.
All right. What do you have up next?
I have no idea. Let's see. Expertier resume. News at email.expertier.com. That seems legit.
Okay, so it is a legitimate company. You're right.
Okay. Expertier, EXPERTEER, it looks like a resume performance report is the title. Your profile is missing important information. Dear Nathan, your resume is missing from your profile. This means that headhunters are not aware of your expertise and are therefore less likely to contact you regarding new senior level positions. Upload your resume now.
Okay.
Summary, basically the same thing. There is no resume on file.
Okay.
Make sure you your profile is up to date by uploading your current. So they're repeating everything they're saying.
Okay.
So that they get that out again.
And where's this company based out of?
The physical address is in Germany.
Oh, okay.
In Munich.
Okay, Munich. Okay. It's got some social media links there that did not work that they had down at the very bottom of it.
Test them?
Yep. So that was just a picture of Twitter and Facebook and all these icons. They didn't really go anywhere, so that was kind of bad. Now, what was interesting about this is I actually clicked on because I just wanted to see how these did.
Okay, yeah, we have to make sure everybody knows that you have a dedicated computer.
Yes.
That you regularly wipe.
Yes, I regularly format
that we do this on.
Yes,
that this is not something that you just open up from your Gmail account.
No, or my primary
computer,
or my secondary, or my third, or my fourth.
Yes,
none of these.
So don't do Nathan at home.
So I did click on it. So this professional company cared a lot about me. So I clicked on the link, and essentially,
you're having this whole care about you thing. Are you feeling okay?
They
need to do some therapy right now.
They reached out. Well, I don't need any therapy. All my credentials were hacked online. That's story number 2. Essentially, here when I go to click on the, it says click on this link here to upload your resume.
Upload
so I clicked on that link, and it sends me to a Dropbox folder. That essentially, I guess, it didn't really give me any explanation of what I needed to do. But I think the idea is that I would then drag and drop my resume over and put it into this repository. Now, because they have this ability for everybody to put in there was about another 50 resumes that people had already put in there. So what you could easily do is you could easily just grab those resumes and drag them out of Dropbox. So I now have 50 new resumes as of this morning when I clicked on that for everybody else that decided to drop these resumes in.
Interesting.
So if you need to do any resume shuffling or you want to take anybody's, I got somebody from France. I got somebody from the United States. I got a bunch of people from South Africa. So if you need to use any of these as templates, I now have 50 free templates that was given to me by people that actually thought this company was legit and drag and drop their resume.
You said it was a legit company.
Well, I'm sure it's a legit company in Germany.
Oh, okay.
It has nothing to do with them helping anybody finding a job. They're just collecting resumes for people.
And the idea is that they're supposedly have headhunters that are going to go through
but they're
resumes.
just going to use them so then they can go through, data mine those, and find out information about when somebody went to college. It's a quicker way of not having to do a LinkedIn search for all these people, and you know that these people are already going to fall for simple processes because they already put those documents in there, and then they become immediate scam bait that I can sell to a third party to go and try to steal money from.
Nice. Did you know that there was a serial killer that did something similar to this?
I did not.
I can't remember his name, but this was back before the internet.
Okay.
He put an ad in the paper that he was running a therapy unit.
Okay.
And he needed some doctors.
Yeah.
To help him and to please supply the transcripts so that he could go over them.
Okay.
And then he took the transcript and went and got a college degree.
Yeah.
With his name on it using this person's transcript and hung a shingle out.
Wow. Yeah, that doesn't surprise me.
Yeah, how about that?
All right, Odie, I think you're up.
I've got an email that was sent to you. The original message is from a greg.fields@stonefly.com.
Okay.
And it's talking about selling you something.
Okay.
I don't know what it is. Recovery backup, 70 terabyte, blah, 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 blah. You get that email. I'm assuming you ignore it.
Okay.
You then get another email that is from greg.fields@stoneflymail2.com.
Okay.
That is following up on the original email and asking you, like, hey, did you review it and did you want to talk to us and blah, 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 blah. Your notes here say that it was a jacked email.
So that's a hijacked email. That is exactly what it was. So essentially what happened is this person, the original person that sent this email was legitimate. He's trying to sell items that's in there. Now, somebody got into his system.
Mm-hmm.
And when they got into his system, they saw all the emails that he had essentially sent out. They probably did an export of that into a PST file or a mail file that you could then take offline and not be a part of that. they created a domain that was close to the person itself, but not the actual domain. And what happened is when that person's email essentially was compromised and they got the information. Now, if I respond to this guy, he's going to use all the information that the previous individual that's trying to actually make some money by selling something legitimate, but he's going to become the middleman. And this happens all the time in bank transfers.
Yeah.
This happens all the time, especially if you're going to go put your house into like escrow and you put money out there. Essentially, this happens quite a bit. And this is just having somebody that came into the system of this individual, hijacked all their email, exported all of it, and then creates a domain name that looks just like them and starts impersonating them. So you got to be very careful, especially when you see a reply to an original message. And if the email address is changed, if you notice the original email address came from the right person,
Right.
but the secondary email that said,
Had a
hey, I'm just
2.
following out, had a 2 at the end of the .com and purchased a domain to impersonate this individual that was taken care of. All right. Our last one here, we're going to go to Mark.
Mine's a pretty simple one, but I'm seeing a lot more like this.
Okay.
It just says this comes from SharePoint Online. No reply at SharePointOnline.com. It says your organization is out of SharePoint Online storage space. They have a nice Microsoft banner at the top, and they say you're out of space. Click this link.
Okay.
Very basic and simple. Hard to mess up. Hard to do bad grammar.
Okay. Now, essentially in this, there's 2 things that you can catch. So one, it did not tell you the amount of space that was available. So it said blank megabytes. And so it should have had probably a number in that area itself. And when I actually clicked on the link was dead. So this had been sent out earlier. Someone had already reported it, and they had essentially taken down that site itself. What I would have expected to have done is, because it's not coming from Microsoft, is when I would have clicked that link, it would have popped up a window that looked just like a Microsoft credential login. And I would have typed in my username and password. It would have failed. And then I would have typed it in again, and it would have failed. And when it said contact support, and it would have had their number to contact, they would not only hopefully have me reach out and then try to scam me on the phone, but before that, they would have my username and password for my Microsoft accounts, which would then have somebody behind the panels that would be working to try to hack into that.
Right. I'd also recommend, before clicking on any link that you're not sure of, take a closer look. So it came from SharePointOnline.com. Sounds valid, but it's really easy to go to a browser. Open up your Nathan Nugget you did a few weeks ago on the sandbox.
Yep.
Type in SharePointOnline.com and you find out it goes nowhere. It's just a dead site.
It is.
If you have a sandbox.
Everybody that has a Windows computer can pull up a sandbox.
If you have a Windows 11 Pro.
Yeah, so you can
10
and
Windows
10.
10 Pro.
You have to have Windows 10. If you have the Home Edition,
If you have the Home Edition, you do not have access.
You do not have a sandbox. You do need the Pro version.
That's why mine doesn't have it.
Yeah, you have the Home
I
version.
don't have the Pro
And that's
version.
why mine has it, because
You have the Pro.
You're a pro.
I'm a pro.
But you know what? Someone gave you a free Microsoft family and friends account, so you can go upgrade it to Pro.
Okay.
I know who that
I'm
is.
actually considering moving back to 11.
Are you?
Yeah,
You mean
though
moving forward to 11 or moving back to 10?
moving it to 11.
Okay, 11's not bad. I have it on
I
most of my
know.
stuff too.
I
So
know.
It's what?
We
Yeah, they make it so you have to
complain
move.
about it, and then we do it anyway.
That's right. Well, that ends our segment letters. Up next, we have This Week in Technology. So now's a great time to enjoy a little whiskey on the side. We're going to be doing so during the break. You're listening to Tech Time Radio with Nathan Mumm. See you in a few minutes.
Join the fun and grab tickets to GeekFest West, the 3-day Geek Festival extravaganza of fun and entertainment that will take place on the 3rd weekend in July. Learn more at geekfest.com. GeekFest will feature diverse activities, including a film festival, vendor hall, street fair, outdoor music festival, cosmic cosplay, and video game tournaments. Join us at GeekFest West, the ultimate celebration of geek culture. To learn more, visit geekfest.com. That is geekfest.com.
And now, let's look back at this week in technology.
All right, we're going all the way back to May 5th, 1961, the first American in space. Now, NASA astronaut Alan Shepard became the first American in space when he made a 15-minute suborbital flight aboard the Mercury capsule Freedom. NASA received permission from Eisenhower to recruit its first astronauts from the ranks of military test pilots. Now, the service record shows that 508 graduates essentially entered into the test pilot school. And from there, 110 were found that they could match the minimum standards. The candidates had to be younger than 40 years, possess a bachelor's degree or equivalent, and be 5'11" or less. Out of this large group, Alan Shepard was selected. On May 5th, during his flight on the Freedom, Alan reached an altitude of 115 miles and experienced about 5 minutes of weightlessness. 10 years later, though, Shepard became the 5th and oldest person to walk on the moon at age 47. Now, that was This Week in Technology. Have you ever wanted to watch some Tech Time history with over 200 weekly broadcasts spanning 4+ years? We have our videos, podcasts, and blog information at techtimeradio.com. We're going to take a commercial break. When we return, we have the Mark's Mumble Whiskey Review. See you after this.
Hello, my name is Arthur, and my life's work is connecting people with coffee. Story Coffee is a small batch specialty coffee company that uses technology to connect people to each product resource, which allows farmers to unlock their economic freedom. Try our Medium Roast Founder Series coffee, which is an exotic bourbon variety that is smooth, fresh, and elegant at storycoffee.com. That's STORI coffee.com. Today you can get your first bag free when you subscribe at storycoffee.com with code TechTime. That's STORI coffee.com.
The segment we've been waiting all week for. Mark's Whiskey Mumble.
All right.
All right.
Well, gentlemen,
Yes.
happy May 7th.
What is May 7th?
Happy what day?
Happy what day?
Happy it's not the fourth.
What
May
day?
the fourth day.
What day?
You were trying to guess yesterday.
I was trying to. There was like one for. You know what? I did look this morning. There was like a World War II something that happened. So,
Okay.
oh, what's that? Is that a buzzer?
No,
Yeah.
that was no.
Oh, that's no. I don't. I do
Oh.
not know what today was. I tried last night on the production meeting show, and I couldn't.
All those sailors out there today will know what it is. It is Beaufort Scale Day.
Blow and blow and blow out the sail. As a leaf, force as again.
Okay,
That's actually Mark.
is that Mark singing
No,
on
that's
his
Mark singing.
weekend?
You know what? I wish I sang that good.
Okay, so explain
Thanks
what
for
this
the
day is.
compliment.
What is this?
Do you know that it's been over a century since the Beaufort scale was invented?
No.
What's
The
a Beaufort scale?
Scale was invented by an officer of the Royal British Navy named Sir Francis Beaufort. Beaufort devised a simple scale that was used to scale the force of wind based on a point system that started from 0 to 12.
Woo!
Is that
Hey.
how they get knots?
Is that how they get not?
No, knots are different.
Okay.
Oh, okay.
Only thing I can think of when I hear Buford. Bueller.
Beaufort? No, that's not right.
Bueller. Bueller.
You know what
No.
I think about? I think
What?
about Phineas and Ferb.
Oh, okay.
Yeah, one of the kids is named Buford.
Was it? Okay. All right.
Wow.
Okay.
Well, we're
You were
celebrating
just
science.
you were just really reaching for that one.
Well, yeah, I didn't know that existed or
I wouldn't have guessed.
no, I would not have guessed. So now Mark's trying to make it so difficult because I did guess
Yeah,
one of his.
That's because
I guessed
you're a cheater.
Okay. All right.
I'm not trying to make it difficult. I try and find some tie-in with our whiskey.
Okay,
So Beaufort scale is a science.
Yes.
So today we are celebrating science.
Okay.
Wilderness Trails founders Shane Baker and Pat Heist come from a strong science background. Both Heist and Baker were students at the University of Kentucky in the late 90s, each pursuing their respective degrees when they met through mutual friends. Now, Heist received his bachelor's degree in microbiology and was studying for his PhD in plant pathology, while Baker was pursuing his degree certification in mechanical engineering. Now, in 2006, they founded Firm Solutions, a fermenting consulting company currently supplying yeast strains to upward of 600 breweries and distilleries across the U.S. before they eventually founded their own distillery, Wilderness Trail.
All right.
Now, Wilderness Trail is one of the few distilleries that puts out a rye younger than 6 years that, for me, tastes much, much older. This particular rye selection, I think, is fantastic and quite unique for me. It tastes like it's been finished in something sweet, though it's not. Now, that is a science from their special yeast strain, or one of the yeast strains that they use to make this rye. I can't wait to spend more time with this bottle and bring it back home with me.
I like how you put that part. He knew that we're going to like it, so he said he was going to bring it back home with him. Okay. All right. Well, the 1,700 people that are watching right now, tell us what you think of for Beaufort Day. Did you just learn
It's
something
the
new?
Beaufort scale day. Remember
yeah,
that.
just remember that.
It's very important for sailors and those on
I
the
actually
sea.
know where knots come from, so that was just a
It was just
a
lob.
fake question.
Okay. All right. Well, you know what? Mark, thanks for that, Mumble.
You're welcome.
As always, whiskey and technology. What a great pairing. Kind of like apple pie and vanilla ice cream.
Yeah, that's a good one.
That's a pretty good one.
That's
All
a
right,
classic. That's a classic.
Let's prepare for our technology fail of the week, brought to you by Elite Executive Services.
We are out of time. Congratulations. You're a failure.
Oh, I failed. Did I?
Yes.
Did I?
Yes.
Did I?
Yes.
All right, let's talk about Evite. Have you ever heard about Evite, the online invitation
Yeah,
service?
you got one when I got married.
I did, and you know what? I did one for my.
You probably got one
New
too
Year's
when I got
party.
a divorce.
No, I didn't do that. But the Evite invitation, I did that for my holiday party. Now, guess what? What if you're a mom using Evite, and essentially you run across a bug that causes you to invite everyone on your phone? Well, this California mom is speaking out about the accident essentially happening to her 487 phone contacts, inviting everyone to her daughter's upcoming first birthday on the platform Evite. Now, Emily King, who shared the hilarious event, is now a viral TikTok video gold. Now, she also was on Good Morning America, and she still says that she remembers a sinking feeling that she realized that she made a giant mistake. King recalled the moment on April 10th when she noticed that an online invitation service she was using sent a digital invitation to her entire list after she imported her phone contacts to the platform. I see this tab and it says import guests from previous parties. And I just had a St. Patrick's party, so I was like, oh, perfect, King explained in her thought process. And then that took her to an actual invitation page, and it said Ivy's first birthday. And then at the bottom, it said guest 487. I started to look at the list, and then everyone that had ever put on my phone was in it. And not only that, it's everyone I put in my phone as they're stored in my phone, and everyone that I ever emailed through my job. King, a teacher, said that she was confused at first, and then essentially understood what had happened. She included in her guest list anyone that had ever been on her phone. Friends, families, and those extended received the Evite. The kicker, too, was that everyone received a text message on top of the email based on what they were labeled in her phone contact list. So there was these people like cute boy from the bar, and like old man neighbor, and Derek with an eye roll emoji. And I hit the girl's car in the grocery store parking lot.
Oh, wow.
And all of these names essentially
He was a nicknamer.
So that's the nicknames essentially went out in the invitation, and everybody that received the SMS text messages had that also. Now, King estimates that within 5 minutes of realizing what she had done, she quickly deleted the party invite. The invitation text message, however, had already sent out. Just think if you received that one cute boy in the bar. You're like,
I would have rather gotten that one than
old man next
Derek
door.
eye roll.
All right. Well, essentially, Evite actually said that the mistake was an actual bug. And now they essentially have the Emily hotfix that removes the select all function in the iOS app for Evite, so no one will have to experience this either.
How many people showed up to the
She
party?
decided to expand her guests from the original 50 to 70 invites, and most of those showed up. There you go. All right. Well, now
was cute black guy from the bar there?
I don't know. All right. Let's move on to our Mike's mesmerizing moment.
This is Mike's mesmerizing moment, presented by Story Coffee. Visit storycoffee.com.
All right, are you seeing a new trend that's going on right now? Theodore Roosevelt is posing with the last known Triceratops in photos that are being shared on the internet. Have you seen this?
Of course I have.
got good old Teddy leaning over the Triceratops after he had just shot down.
It's actually a photo of Teddy Roosevelt.
Yeah,
who was posing next to a bear carcass.
Okay,
when he photoshopped it into a slide of Jurassic Park.
Okay, and so this was the fake Triceratops that was in Jurassic Park, and they photoshopped it. Now, why do people fall for this? This is going across the internet right now, and people actually believe that Theodore Roosevelt was posing with the Triceratops.
This happens for a number of reasons, two of which are heurism, and social proof.
Okay,
heurism is the way our brain works. It looks for information, and we find it, and we quickly store it.
Okay,
and then social proof is what happens when we see something that's written down, or somebody tells us, or something like that, and we can look at that and go, "Oh, well, somebody published. Look, there's a picture of this."
So it must be true.
And it must be true. And then they start looking for reasons to believe it.
Okay. All right.
And that's why People are the way they are.
That's why people are the way they are.
Yeah.
Okay. All
You
right.
want me to say what I was going to say?
No, you're not
You
going to
sure?
say that. All right. Okay. Let's take a look at our pick of the day, whiskey tasting.
And now our pick of the day for our whiskey tastings. Let's see what bubbles to the top.
All right. What do we have, Mark?
Well, I have nothing in my glass, but what you guys have in your glass?
I don't have anything in my glass.
All right. I'm going to give it a
single
thumbs up.
barrel family reserve cast strength rye.
All right. Thumbs up from me.
Thumbs up.
All right. Remember, the science of tomorrow starts with the technology of today. See you next week.
Thanks for joining us on TechTime Radio.
Bye-bye.
We hope that you had a chance to have that moment today in technology. The fun doesn't stop there. We recommend that you go to techtimeradio.com and join our fan list for the most important aspect of staying connected and winning some really great monthly prizes. We also have a few other ways to stay connected, including subscribing to our podcast on any podcast service, from Apple to Google and everything in between. We're also on YouTube, so check us out on youtube.com/techtimeradio, all one word. We hope you enjoyed the show as much as we did making it for you. From all of us at TechTime Radio, remember, mum's the word. Have a safe and fantastic week.